It's day 19 and we are getting toned arms while we walk off the weight. Grab your lightest dumbbells and let's go. All right, killer bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. And yes, that means we're getting started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, you already know that I'm excited about today's workout, so I'm just gonna skip that part. I'm gonna welcome you to it. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend, and today we are walking off the weight. In fact, every day in the month of January, we are walking off the weight. And today, I suspect that today is the day that you've kind of been waiting for, where we talk about how we can get some nice toned arms. This is a question that I get asked all the time, and I am so excited to be able to share with you today some of the secrets of having nice toned arms. And I know that, we've talked about it at least a couple of times already this month, how you really do need to focus on losing weight first before you worry too much about what you're going to do with the rest of your fitness life. But I will tell you that workouts like this do really help get you toned on your way to losing weight. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. The reason why I talk so much about wanting to lose weight first is what we're going to talk about really quite a bit today, is the fact that you already have muscles. And I know that sometimes we get in this place where mentally we're like, yeah, but I can't really see them. I want to be able to see my muscles. So I got to work harder. I got to lift heavier. I've got to do some toning. But I will tell you, the real secret to being able to see your toned muscles is to lose weight. Your body carries fat all over your body, like literally all over your body, directly underneath the skin. I know we notice it in certain places in our body, but your body actually carries a layer of fat, it's called subcutaneous fat, directly under your skin, all over your body. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. That is the real reason why I suggest that you focus on losing weight first, because you are absolutely getting more toned, more fit, more strong, more everything while you are losing weight, as long as you are exercising even remotely consistently, let alone every day like we do. But you still won't be able to really see the results because of that layer of fat that we're working on losing. And that's not meant to be an insult in any manner. It's simply how your body works. And speaking of work, oh my gosh, let me tell you really quickly. So we're going to have our lightest dumbbells in our hands or nothing in your hands. Again, don't feel like you need to have something heavy or anything in your hands, because your body, when it is moving, it is toning. Got the handy dandy gym bus here, set for 30-second intervals. We're going to go back and forth between walking and some very arm-specific toning exercises that are actually going to get your whole body. I promise. This is much more of a whole body workout than we realize. If you're going to be using dumbbells, go ahead and grab them now. If you're not, help yourself. Let's get started walking. So I have my lightest weights today, and I strongly suggest that you have your lightest or nothing, because what we're doing today is very cardio based. We're meant to be moving quickly with these exercises, and therefore you don't want something so heavy that you really need to think about your form like with total concentration. When it beeps, we're going to do something I call ski jumps, even though there's absolutely no jumping at all today, but we're mimicking the motion of it. So we're swinging back and then coming up, and swinging back and coming up. Now I am doing a bit of a squat. Don't feel like you need to. I can really get some momentum going here, so I'm actually coming up on my toes a little bit too. You are welcome to simply move your arms in that motion. Whatever feels best for you feels great for me. When it beeps again, we're going to come back to that walking. We're going back and forth between walking, doggies, and these other low impact, but I know you've already noticed the intensity of the exercises. This is the real thing about having something even very light weights in your hands while we are doing cardio moves. It brings up your heart rate. So that's why we're going back and forth between walking and other motions. Feel free to really bring this walking down to a very gentle pace in between. When it beeps again, we're actually going to continue walking, but we're going to do walking punch-ups. So I'm going to keep at more or less this pace, and hands start at your shoulders, and then we're just going to punch up. One arm at a time, we're going back and forth. You could do both, but honestly, I already know that my heart rate would go way higher than a moderate pace if I were to do that. So I'm keeping this kind of gentle. By the time we get done with our workout today, we will have gotten rather high volume of work of all of these exercises. So don't worry about trying to get it all done in one interval. We're right back to walking, even though we were kind of walking the entire time. When it beeps again, we're going to be doing something I call a wide elbow swing side tappers. So we're going to be swinging our elbows kind of wide. So not all the way high, but not all the way low either. Somewhere in the middle while we're tapping from side to side. That is meant to be, again, a very moderate exercise. All of these are, but I know that you're going to notice how the cumulative effect here. So we're tapping from side to side while we're swinging our elbows. Do you already feel that work up in your shoulders and your chest? That's what we're doing, my friends. When we work your arms, we're actually working your whole shoulder complex. We're working our chest, our back, our middle of our back, our upper back. We're getting it all done, not just your arms today. When it beeps again, of course, we're going to come back to walking. And what I was starting to tell you about these exercises, here we are back at walking, is that I've got a circuit for us today that is not especially long, and we're going to make it through 3 times. And I know that sometimes 3 times feels like a lot to go through them, especially if there's one exercise that you don't love. Coming up next, by the way, we're going to be doing high curl, high knees, which means we're going to have our arms straight out to the sides at shoulder height with your palms facing the ceiling. You're going to do like a biceps curl with your arms in that wide open position while we raise one knee at a time. So high curl, high knee. This one's definitely slower. This is more like strength work than cardio work. Make sure your core is pulled in nice and tight. Awesome job. This is actually why I brought up the thing about 3 circuits. This one's hard. This one's tough for me every time. And so I know on the 3rd circuit, I'm going to be very happy to be done with this one really specifically and then coming right back to walking. I chose some very specific exercises today, knowing that we could probably tolerate relatively high volume work, but I wanted to make sure that we get all planes of motion and really work our entire shoulder, chest, and back complex. Coming up next, we're going to do one of my favorites. It's triceps curl downs. So we're going to be curling down our arms, and really as we curl it down, hands are going to start like right about chest height. As we curl it down, we're tapping out to the side, but I want you to really think about focusing on those triceps. That's the muscles in the backs of your arms, those little muscles that actually help with everything. And when we target them, you really notice it because they are small muscles. As your arm curls down, we're turning the hand all the way around so that your palm is actually facing completely away from your body. That's how we're targeting the backs of our arms. When it beeps again, gonna come back to that walking motion. Awesome job. Okay, you guys. Okay, oh my gosh. This is very exciting. The next exercise is the last exercise in our circuit, which means that we will be a 1/3 of the way done with the whole workout. So coming up next, we're going to do wide open side kicks, which is exactly what it sounds like. Hands are going to start right about our chest. We're going to have our palms facing us with your elbows out nice and wide. Going to open out to the side while we kick to one side at a time as well. Going to work on our balance a little bit, so we're also thinking about pulling in your core. Have a good form. It's still cardio, but it's also a little bit hardio. We're thinking about moving our body with precision. Anytime we have our hands at chest height or higher, really want to make sure that we've got our core pulled in nice and tight. This one, again, tough for me. This is why I kept the intervals pretty reasonable today, but 30 seconds does feel, back to walking. 30 seconds does feel a little bit tough. This is also why I suggested that it's totally okay to have nothing in your hands. It really depends on where you are with your fitness journey. If you're brand new to exercise, maybe 1 round with weights was plenty. Go ahead and do the next 2 without, or do the middle one without and come back to weights for the 3rd. Whatever feels good. When it beeps again, we're going to do those ski jumps without any jumping whatsoever. And here we go. And up. Crouching it down a little bit, or at least push your hips back. You don't have to come into a squat like I'm doing, but I will tell you, my friends, working your whole body, it's kind of the secret sauce of weight loss and of, weirdly, toning one part of your body. You know, I know lots of trainers have lots of single body part workouts. I have some of them too, honestly, because I get asked for them so often. Let's go ahead and come back to walking. But the real secret of toning one part of your body is to tone your whole body. Full body workouts are so much more effective than single body part workouts. For the same amount of time and relatively same effort, you could be toning your entire body rather than just trying to focus on one part. When it beeps again, we're doing those walking punch-ups. So we're going to start with our hands at our shoulders, really going to think, whoo, doggies, I have definitely slowed down the pace on the punching on this one. Help yourself to whatever pace feels good. My walking feels fine, but I know that I can't do a whole lot more punching than this without getting my heart rate up too high. Thinking about where your heart rate is, making sure that today's effort feels moderate the entire time, because the harder you work, my friends, the harder it is to lose weight. We're right back to walking, even though we never stopped walking. When we try to put in more effort in an effort to get more results, you know, it never really works that way. Your body is an amazing, miraculous machine. When it beeps again, we're doing those wide elbow swing side tappers. And your body has an upper limit to how much it can do, how much it can adapt to, and what kind of work it can get done. Your body is actually really capable. So here we go with those elbow swings, tapping from side to side. Your body can do a ton of work, like a ton of work, more than you think on any given day, one time, for a certain amount of time. But then it needs a lot of recovery and a lot of recuperation. So your body is miraculous enough to be able to do anything, but then it has processes for how it deals with those things, right? Back to walking. So when we do too much, we don't actually get more results faster. We simply put ourselves in a position where our body needs more recovery. It's why I want you to make sure that today's effort, I know you want those toned arms, but today's effort should still be very moderate. We're working towards weight loss, and that's how we're gonna find and see those toned arms. When it beeps again, we're doing those high curl, high knees. Here we go, out to the side, curl it up high, trying to keep your elbows at shoulder height, really thinking about pulling in your core, asking your abs to do some of this work, especially because we're standing on one foot at a time with this high knee work. Awesome job. When it beeps again, of course we get to put our hands back down. And thank goodness for it, am I right? Oh my goodness. This is the exercise that really determined for me, and here we go back to walking, that really determined for me personally in putting together the workout that I wanted to make sure I was using my lightest weights, absolutely, and that 30-second intervals were plenty long for this kind of work. When it beeps again, we're going to do those triceps curl downs. That one truly is my favorite. That's the thing about a couple of these exercises that it's like, well, we could kind of go longer. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad. But in that vein, here we go with those triceps curl downs. I wanted to make sure that today's effort feels moderate for you. Yes, we could go longer. Your body is capable. We already talked about that, but we don't need to. Getting high volume work in shorter intervals like this. I mean, not the 30 seconds is short, but it's not, it's not a minute, it's not 2 minutes, it's not 5 minutes of work. 30 seconds, we're not getting a million reps done, but we are getting a fair few, and we're going through the circuit 3 times. So here we go back to walking. Over the course of this workout, we're actually going to be doing these exercises a fair bit. You might, even with your lightest weights, even at a moderate pace, you might feel this work tomorrow because it was a little bit more targeted than some other workouts that we do. When it beeps again, we're doing those wide open side kicks. And this is the kind of thing that I'd like you to pay attention to while we're working out this month, particularly particularly if you're new. But honestly, even if you're not new to exercising, here we go with those wide open side kicks. Even experienced exercisers like me still need to pay attention to the signals my body is sending me. If tomorrow you wake up and this felt like a little bit too much, I would recommend, honestly, well, I already know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow's actually going to be ab focused, of all funny things, because we wanted to talk about body parts for 2 days in a row. Here we go, back to walking. That was the end of circuit number 2, and my friends, that means that we are heading into circuit number 3. So tomorrow is actually a really nice mix of both cardio and slow moving work, but you might take a day of walking only. You might take a day where you go back to one of our more recovery type days, one of our more slow moving kind of days. You are welcome. I know you'd like to follow along with all of this, but you are actually welcome to really pay attention to the signals that your body is sending and do the work. Here we go with those ski jumps for the third and final time. You're welcome to do the work that your body needs. Sometimes your body needs less work, particularly if you are new to exercise and really figuring out moderation. But also, honestly, if you're an experienced exerciser trying to figure out moderation and accidentally pushing too hard. It's easy for me personally, because I am an experienced exerciser, to push too hard. Here we go, back to walking. I tend to think that most of us push a little too hard, a little too often, versus letting ourselves off the hook. And I know that this is one of the things that you might think about yourself, that, oh, if I don't push hard, I haven't done enough. I haven't given it everything I needed to, and I wasn't working. I let myself off the hook. When it beeps again, by the way, we're going to do those walking punch-ups. So we're still doing our walking, but we're going to be punching up. Whew, I'm going to slow that down. I got started like I had nothing in my hands, but I do. I still have these weights in my hands. Part of your weight loss journey is going to be paying attention to those thoughts that you are thinking about your effort and realizing that they're just thoughts. They're not facts. They're not the truth. And that you can actually choose to think whatever you want. You can do half of this workout, and here we go back to regular walking, and consider it a day well done. If you are doing the right amount of work for you to get the results that you want to get, then you're doing it perfectly, my friend. When it beeps again, we're going to do those wide elbow swing side tappers. I'm starting to feel the work in my heart and lungs. This has been a really great amount of sweat for me today. This feels moderate, which is such a good feeling for me. Here we go with those elbow swing side tappers. And just be aware of what it feels like for you. Sometimes I don't notice that I've gone beyond moderate until after the workout. Like, it feels so good while I'm doing it. I'm not really thinking about it, not really focusing on it. That's why I mention it to you. Maybe you feel amazing right now, but you notice that your heart rate's a little bit high, or that the dumbbells have gotten a little bit heavy. My friend, drop the dumbbells. You don't have to drop them on your toes. In fact, please don't. We're back to walking. But go ahead and make sure that today's effort is moderate. I know you want to tone your arms, but working harder is not the same as working smarter. We are in this for the long haul to lose weight, and we will get toned along the way. When it beeps again, oh my gosh, we're doing those high curl, high knees for the third and final time, and I'm very excited that we're going to be done with those for our third and final time. It's been just the right amount of effort with that today. High curl, high knees. I have definitely slowed it down on this third round, really thinking about pulling in my core. At this point in time, my heart rate is high enough that I'm definitely having to concentrate on pulling in my core a little bit more than I do when we're just getting started and I'm fresh and my body is ready for it. When you can really notice things like that, that is one of the best ways. Here we go back to walking. It's one of the best ways to really start taking care of your body. When you notice that your core isn't pulling in as tight, or you're not able to hold it in as long, slow yourself way down. Totally okay. I would much rather you do the work and not get injured than do the work and hurt yourself. There's there's always a chance of hurting yourself. So make sure that you're not taking that chance. When it beeps again, we are doing those triceps curl downs. Here we are, triceps curl downs with that nice tap out. Good job. Curling it down, squeezing from that triceps, really thinking about the muscles that we're using, noticing when we squeeze them, that we can feel them working. I tell you what, my friends, no matter how much you exercise, how little you exercise, how often, how long it's been since the last time you exercised, you have muscles. They are capable of working and toning and right back to walking. Oh my gosh, you guys, the next interval is our last interval. In our last circuit, we're doing wide open side kicks for the third and final time. I'm gonna think about my core right now, because while my hands are down low, I don't notice that I can't pull it in as well. So when I'm gonna pull my hands up and have them opening wide, I'm really gonna think about pulling it in, making sure that my lower back is safe, making sure that my abs are doing their job. Wide open side kicks. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when we're done with this, we are done. We're not quite finished. I've got one final thing for us. We're gonna do some super slow day breaks. Now, this is balance work when we do it super slow. Hands are gonna be up overhead the entire time, swaying back and forth from side to side. And what I'd like you to really think about is when you're tapping, let's see if we don't have to tap. So hands up, we're gonna put your hands and feet one way and put your hands and feet the other way. Rather than tapping the foot down, I'm trying to see if I can keep that moving foot up off the ground. It's a very small motion, much smaller than when we don't have weights in our hands. Hands up over your head for the entire 30 seconds. Feels very different, feels a lot harder. That's why we're only doing one interval, and that was it, my friends. Put your dumbbells down very carefully and very nicely. You've heard my theory on this before. It's not doing the work where you get injured. It's when you're putting your dumbbells down and you stop paying attention that's when we sometimes get hurt. Oh my gosh, let's cool it down. What a great, great, great job you did today. My friends, my arms feel lovely right now. How about yours? I love doing arm circles after we've had something heavy in our hands the whole time. My arms feel so light. It's like I just lost 6 pounds. because I was carrying 3-pounders. It's a terrible joke, and I make it all the time. You are welcome, my friends. What a great job you did today. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, that feels so good on my chest. And then we're going to close that up and give yourself a big hug and a pat on your back. I do, of course, have an extended cool down for you here on screen. And if you need some reminders about what your goal is this month, I've got our information video about everything you need to know to lose weight at 50 and beyond. Thank you so, so much for working out with me today. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.